As earlier alluded to, the KPSEA and the KGSTEA examinations were recently taken by learners across the country. And how different is it from the KCSE and all that? And so, leadership and governance scholar and certified career analyst and life purpose coach, Dr. MAKORI, is a globally recognized professional dedicated to empowering individuals and organizations to achieve employability and embrace leadership and live with a purpose. Well, he's here to share insights on guiding learners through CBE. Welcome to the program, Dr. MAKORI.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Asante sana for coming into the studio. And so KPSEA and KGSTEA national examinations took place.
Yeah,
KCSE definitely still going on right now. We'll be talking about that. But before we even get to understand, you know, how KGSTEA and KPSEA differs from KCSE or the 844 system, I just want to take you a little bit back for some of us who probably do not have the little ones at home and understand what CBE is all about. The structure of CBE, first and foremost. How is the structure of CBE different from the 844 system?
Thank you very much. The government of Kenya is going through transition. The world is going through transition, and indeed the government of Kenya. Now we have changed from the 844 system to 2663 system of education, which is called the competence-based education system. So in this competence-based education system, we are looking at key things. One, how do we integrate ICT to the education system? Number two, the role of a parent and the community in nurturing a professional. Then number three, again, we look at how do we bring a wholesome individual. The role of education globally, and even in Kenya, is to bring up a professional who is able to be useful to themselves, the community, and the world. So this system looks at all-round, the holistic development of a professional so that they become effective in what they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we get into the nitty-gritty of CBE in terms of examinations and all that.
Yeah.
How has that transition been? You know, KCSE was more of a examination, can I say, oriented. You know, CBC is a bit different from what I understand. It's more of a skills and competency of the learners. How has that changed in terms of the subject approach?
Thank you very much. So in CBE, we don't talk about subject, we talk about learning areas. So there's been a change from a mindset from where we used to talk about subjects to what are the learning areas. So if you look at the way these assessments are done, and again not exams, assessments are being done through a wide array of approaches. We have around 9 assessments before a child goes to university. So through these assessments, then the child is able to be known what are their strong points, what do they like to do, then they are able to grow through that area. So we are used to School X was #1 and celebrations along the road. We may not be able to see that currently because now we are looking at not examination-based, but assessments, abilities, skills, values, and integration of technology in our studies. That's the big difference.
Yeah, you know, when you talk about we no longer see the celebrations and all that, at some point people were arguing and wondering, does it mean that there's no competition anymore because the students are not being examined? Or how do they determine, away from, you know, competencies or the skills of individual learners, how is that competition being fostered?
Good. There's competition everywhere. And again, in each and every competition, whether there's competition or not, there's somebody who has a better skill than another. So through these assessments, you are able to determine who is better than another. And the ways of assessment meets expectation, exceeds expectation, shows you who are these learners who have been able to exceed expectation. So
is that how the transition, like KPSEA and the KGSTEA, is that how they are ranking them?
Yes, that's how they rank them.
Exceed expectations,
meet expectation, below expectation.
Okay.
Yes.
So we no longer have the grading? A, B, C, no?
A, B, C, D, no, currently. Yeah.
Okay. So now, the learners have just sat the KPSEA and KGSTEA, very calm, no much of, you know, when KCSE, when students were going to do KCSE or KCP, I mean, the whole country would be knowing that KCSE.
We were even washing our desks and all that,
Exactly. So they have career pathways.
Sure.
a little bit different from the 844 system,
Sure.
because with the 844 system, definitely you reach standard 8 and then you went to Form 1 up to Form 4.
Yes.
But now the students are doing, can I say, two national examinations, at least before they finish their, primary and secondary school levels.
Yeah.
So there is KBC, which is done in, is it grade 6?
Grade 6, yes.
Grade 6.
Yeah.
So then they go into grade 7 and grade 8.
Then it's another in the grade 9 now.
And then KBC is where now they go into grade 11 and grade 12.
Yeah.
So their career pathways, could you just enlighten us what these career pathways are?
Yeah.
And what does that mean? Because with the 844 system, the way I understand it, then all of us would do all the subjects. If the
Yes.
sciences, they were mandatory. But it's a bit different for this particular curriculum.
Yeah, a little bit different from these learning areas. And now we are looking at competencies. Where am I competent at? The world of tomorrow and today is a world of competencies, not really about grades, competencies. So how the CBE has been structured is that when you move to senior secondary school, those who have now done the Kenya Junior Secondary School examination, they'll be moving to senior secondary. In senior secondary, they have pathways and tracks to choose from. So we have 3 pathways. We have sports, arts and sports science. We have humanities and social. Then we have STEM, which is science, mathematics, and engineering. In between here, like now in STEM, we have those who will do pure sciences, those who will be able to do applied sciences and technical sciences. So that one now brings the whole picture around the structure of the program. If I'm in arts and sports, I'll be able to do either arts or I do sports science. If I'm in the area of social sciences, then I'll either go to language and literature or I do business education, business and literature. So there's business education, I mean. So those now brings the whole of that organization of the system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this case, after the learners have done the KBC and now KGSTA, what then is the role of the parents? What are they supposed to know about this? Because then, like I said, 844 system, it was like you do all the subjects.
Sure.
And then you could actually venture into any of the careers that, for example, if you passed sciences and probably you wanted to be an arts, oriented, person, you can still change your mind and actually do the STEM or sciences.
Sure.
How does that differ and what should parents know?
So in the 844 system, you had 8 subjects. Those could do 7 or 8. So you could do 2 sciences, maths, English, Kiswahili, and then probably do business studies, history, geography. Meaning if you didn't pass in sciences, you have an opportunity to go to the arts. And that's how most people found themselves in arts. In this case now, these learning areas are now predefined that you need to know, where am I going to? Am I an arts person? Then I focus on those art subjects. I find it quite a unique area for most of the parents and most of the community members, because you need to understand then where does the child need to be before they go to those learning areas. So this now brings a bit of a complication. And when you look at the CBE curriculum, the role of a parent and community is highly integrated. One of the things you learn, even among the CBC parents today, they'll be doing a lot of exercise with their children. Again, those ones helps them to monitor and understand, what is my child good at? When we move to this area we call, now when they move to the senior secondary, they'll be doing 7 learning areas, which is English. There's a bit of mathematics basic. They'll also be doing Kiswahili or Kenya Sign Language. And then we have community learning and physical education. Community learning now brings the role of everyone, including stakeholders in education. How do they support this young person who wants to be a nurse? Before they make that decision to do applied sciences or pure sciences, then they need to understand, how does the environment work? So this area, learning area, allows them to integrate learning with community service. We're looking at areas like job shadow program, where that young child who wants to be a news anchor needs to come and sit with you, see how you do your work, and probably say, is this the thing I want to do? Now, this calls for everyone. to even adopt a child and say, this child wants to become a news anchor. How do I give them opportunities to learn what I do today? So that when they make that decision, because if they make that decision and they know the right course, probably then their future may be quite challenging at the end of it, moving to another area. Yeah. Yeah.
So does it suffice to say sometimes, I mean, with the CBE, then it locks the child into a particular area? That means they can never change. If you're probably in arts and sports, then that means you have to focus just on that area, because then the universities are also, can I say, structured in that way. So how easy is it for them to transition into this higher education, you know, level in terms of these career pathways? Have we seen the structure change within the universities, or all universities are able to absorb these students, whether I'm going to do sports or I'm going to do STEM? Yeah.
You see, even in our senior secondary schools, we have 2 levels of senior secondary schools. We have the triple specialization, where they are teaching maths, science, and sports science. Then others are teaching STEM. Then there are those who teach STEM only and arts and sports science, those who teach STEM and the other specialization. So we have 3 levels of even high school. Wherever I go to a high school, I'll go to a high school which doesn't teach arts and sports. So if I wanted to be in arts and sports, then I have to choose that school, because that's where I'll build my understanding. If I wanted to be in arts and humanities, I wanted to be in banking, business related, then I have to go to a school that teaches that. There's a sort of locking in the process, but I think it's also an opportunity to open our eyes and say, how do we structure our learners? How do we help them to make early decisions? Most career decisions are planned. They are not, you don't jump to a career decision. If a career decision is planned, career decisions, then they are able to transition into the right career. Yeah.
And I mean, just like you said, can I say a grade 11 and 12 is what we used to call Form 3 and Form 4.
Form 3 and Form 4,
and Form 4, and that means now they're going into secondary school. So the grade 9 and 10 who have done the examinations are now moving to secondary school, because then grade 8 and 9 are still domiciled within the primary school. And so choosing of those subjects is important for the parents to know, like, as they move into high school, then that means they have to choose, or they have to go to schools that are offering the career pathways that they. But then the global workforce is also changing. You know? So the traditional careers, doctors, engineers, lawyers, are still there. But there is, can I say, a plethora of, you know, career choices. Gen Zs, or the young generation right now, a lot of them do not really believe in traditional, can I say, careers, employment, going to the offices and all that. How should, can I say, the government, you know, work with the market, can I say, the industry, to ensure that they're churning out professionals who are going to be relevant in this changing workforce?
I think that's now what the big discussion is around. How do we do it? Because responding from 844 to CBE is a good step, I can tell you that. Albeit some resource constraints within a country to run the most quite expensive system of education, it's a good response. If you look at the global education systems, whether you are in India, whether you are in America, they are all responding to how the world is creating employment. And Kenya is responding well. We'll talk about tools, and we have been shown ways of how do we even integrate ICT. One of them could be even live streaming, that children understand, I can learn through live streaming. Gamification. They may not be able to do the digital games done in other schools, but they can also develop their local games. So how then do we use our local resources to enable these people to develop into that digital economy? So jobs are changing. In the next few years, 2030, some of the roles that will be there, we don't know them now. They'll be created. And now we have AI. We have AI changing roles. Just, you know, completely different pathways and all that. Now, as a career development coach, how do you then come in to assist the students and the parents in terms of, you know, choosing their career paths and all that? Thank you very much. The world of career development has also changed with AI. Now we are using AI. What makes one professional succeed in one area than another? And we have areas, things we look at. Personality. Personality is determined where do you succeed. Career interest, career motivators, your learning style, your emotional intelligence, which is developing, the future of work. When all those things are looked together, they bring out now a suitable profession for a role. Now, what we need to invest in is the Office of Career Services in our learning institutions. How do we enable those teachers to be able to detect this? How do they use technology to be able to determine how do I measure skills? How do I know their abilities, their personality? And how do I help the parent to be able to align the child to the future of their role? Yeah. So it will require a lot of stakeholder engagement, but science, again, is very important in this area, and the Office of Career Services in our learning institutions. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Livingstone Makori, their career development coach, just giving us insights in as far as CBE is concerned and the career pathways. But I just want to give you a few seconds for somebody watching and they're wondering how can they get in touch with you, because you're a career coach,
yeah, sure.
And development, expert. How should they be able to get in touch with you?
Thank you very much. For the last 13 years, we have been running a social enterprise called Corporate Career Academy. And we have looked at the issues that are in the market. How do we support our teachers? So far, we have trained 480 teachers to be able to apply technology to guide learners and parents. Every December, and in this December, we are running a free scholarship program. Now this year focusing on senior secondary teachers. So any senior secondary teacher who is out there, go to the Corporate Career Academy website, apply for that training. Okay. We are able to provide assessment tools which they can use to test. We're also able to give them tools which they can use to test learners and be able to guide them on their career. So if they want to reach us, they go to Corporate Career Academy. We have a team of mentors, volunteers, who also search for these job opportunities for learners, help them to get integrated into community in line with community service learning.
Asante sana, Dr. Makori. We'll be talking to Dr. Livingstone Makori. He's a career development coach and expert.